Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto built a harem with Hinata, Funu, Anko, Kurenai, Rin, and Konan Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this and comment for next part. And now let's start the fanfic. Funu woke up still tired after making another makeshift grave, this one for her second Konan. She looked at them. Sorry I wasn't there to protect you Konan, she said. As she turned and started to walk away she remembered what Makoto said, a true kunoichi doesn't look for revenge, a true kunoichi don't fight to kill, a true kunoichi fight to protect what's important to her, a true kunoichi will always protect what's important to her until her last breath. When the time comes Funu, will you be a true kunoichi or will you be an avenger and dishonor all those who gave their lives to protect you? Funu smiled as remembered those words and headed towards the village. The funeral was just about over when the gate to the grave house was opened. Everyone turned in shock at the beauty that just walked into the funeral. Suduru couldn't help but smile as she saw her best friend in that dress she tried on a few years ago. It did surprise Suduru that she could still fit it, but then again while everyone grew Funu remained one of the smallest people in the entire village standing at a mere 4 foot 5 inches. Every guy within 5 years of her age in the funeral stared awestruck and drool out of their mouth at her. She was wearing a long black dress that touched the ground, it was strapless, and hair was no longer in her usual bun but hung down her back, just like both her Kosan's hair did. She slowly walked up to the front of the funeral and saw Suduru and hugged her quickly, then stepped up by the Hokage. Can I say something? She asked. Of course, the third said. Funu turned and faced everyone and was about to speak but her words caught in her throat and she started to cry again. For a few minutes everyone looked at her with tears in their eyes. Suduru finally got up and ran up to her friend. Come on, let it all out, we can wait, she whispered while hugging her. 5 minutes later Funu stopped crying. Better? Suduru asked. Yes thanks Suduru, Funu replied. Suduru was about to walk back down to her seat but Funu grabbed her. Can you stay with me? She asked. Of course, Suduru smiled and stood next to her for moral support. Funu breathed. I'm sure you all know who I am so I won't bother telling you. But I would like to say that Makoto was the closest person to me since my Kosan died. She became my second Kosan. Funu stopped and had to force back tears. She taught me everything I know and at times I wasn't the best person to deal with but she just smiled and said it'd take time to get used to having someone to look after me. She even taught me how to smile again when my Kosan was killed on her mission. Funu stopped and thought of what to say next. I remember one day I was mad and tried to kill Sasuke because he started to talk about my Kosan. When Kosan Makoto stopped me she took me to our training area and looked me in the eyes and said, a true kunoichi doesn't look for revenge, a true kunoichi don't fight to kill. A true kunoichi fight to protect what's important to her. A true kunoichi will always protect what's important to her until her last breath. When the time comes Funu, will you be a true kunoichi or will you be an avenger and dishonor all those who gave their lives to protect you? At first I didn't know what she meant. But I think now. Funu stopped and looked back at the graves of the Uchihas. I think now I understand, they wouldn't want me to get revenge. I have friends who love me, I have people to protect. I have a village to keep safe, I have a legacy to carry out. I am a kunoichi and kunoichis don't look for revenge, they protect. I will do everything in my power to protect those I care for and those who can't protect themselves. I think that's what she meant. A true kunoichi doesn't go out trying to get killed or kill. She only raises her hands to kill for the kids, men, women, and old people who can't do it themselves. A kunoichi never takes a life for her own gain. Funu finished. Once she stopped talking it was quiet for a minute then slowly everyone started to clap for her. Suduru turned and pulled Funu into a hug. What a great speech Funu, she praised. Funu smiled. I couldn't have done it without you, she said. The two went back and sat down. The third stepped up. I think everyone here will agree that what Funu said is true on so many levels and don't just apply to kunoichis, but also shinobis, and we can only hope Sasuke takes the same attitude, he said. A week later, Funu was standing inside the council's office. We think it's a good idea for you and Sasuke to date, one of the council members said. And who gave you any idea I would take anything you consider into consideration? Funu asked coldly. It's for the best. This way we can start to rebuild the Uchiha clan as soon as possible, another council member said. Look, you bastards, I'm not a damn baby making factory, I'm a kunoichi, and if I decide to have any children at all, it will not be with that arrogant, stuck up, selfish Sasuke, it will be with who I chose, Funu said. You don't have a choice, the council member said. Oh, I want you to try and force me to do anything and you will see just why. Konan said I was better than Itachi, Funu threatened. The Shinobi Council smiled at that threat. Funu, you have to think about this. It's a great opportunity to start the Uchiha clan over how you want it, Danzo said. I said no and I'm not changing my mind, and if I have to I will make sure Sasuke never has kids, Funu threatened again with her Sharingan active. Well, you have your answer, you can go, Funu, the third said. Funu walked out the tower with her Sharingan still blazing. Funu, what's wrong? Suduru asked. Those bastards tried to force me to have kids with that jerk, Funu said. What, but Otusan said they can't force you to do that since you are not the last with your bloodline, Suduru said. It wasn't the entire council, just the idiotic civilian council and the elders, Funu said looking at Suduru. Funu, fight me, Sasuke said. I don't have time for you, Funu replied walking past Sasuke. Sasuke waited until she was past him then attacked her. Funu reacted too fast for Sasuke and kicked him in the head. She then put her foot on his throat before he could get up. Everyone looked surprised at how easily she took him out. Funu looked at him with her Sharingan spinning. You just don't get it, do you? All explain it. I don't have time for your damn games, Sasuke. If you keep attacking me when I tell you I don't want to fight you, I will end up hurting you. Maybe even kill you. So, she put more pressure on his neck. Stay the away from me, she said, then walked off with Suduru. That was impressive. Have you gotten faster? Suduru asked. I haven't slowed down my training. I need to be able to protect what's important to me, Funu said. So what will you do about the Sasuke? Suduru asked. Don't know, sometimes he asks to spar. Sometimes he follows me like a love-struck kitsune asking me to go out with him, but he is a full-time pain in my, and sharing an apartment only makes it worse, Funu said. Well, hopefully in a year we will be on the same team, Suduru said. Hopefully also between you and me, I hope I can find someone who isn't a lost kitsune in love, you know, just a guy who actually treats me like any other person, Funu said. I know what you mean. It happens with me all the time, and I can only imagine how bad it has gotten since everyone saw you in that dress, Suduru said. I know I shouldn't have worn it, now people want stay away from me, Funu said. Yay! Join the beautiful air club. Me, Ino, and Hana have to deal with that all the time, Suduru said. So that's my history, Funu said looking down. I didn't mean to make you relive that, Naruto said. It's fine, it actually feel good to tell someone, Funu said. So you get your style from Tem's Konan. I still find that hard to believe, I mean he is such a, Tem, Naruto said. I know, sometimes I think the doctors switched him at birth, Funu laughed. Well, anyway, thanks for sharing your past with me, even though you didn't have to, Naruto said. It's fine, Naruto, Funu said. A few hours later they was walking through Nami no Kuni when Naruto threw a kunai into some bushes, and Funu had a kunai in her hand. Naruto ran into the bushes but only found a white rabbit. He frowned for a minute then shrugged, holding the scared animal. Haku would love this, he said. Naruto no baka, now is not the time to get gifts for your fangirls, Sakura yelled. Are you serious calling someone a fangirl? Your head is so far up Tem's unclean that you breath through his mouth, Naruto said. They used a substitution, Funu said. Yay, but who was there? They must be at least Junin because I know I'm faster than most Chunins, Naruto said. I agree with you, they must. Get down, Funu yelled all of a sudden as she, Naruto, and Kakashi who pulled Tazuna fell to the ground. Sasuke and Sakura barely dropped in time. I see you have good senses to notice me, the person said. Why damn mister, you're clever, almost hit me and my new rabbit, which by the way you scared, Naruto said. The man chuckled, so that's where my rabbit is, thanks for finding it, can I have it back, he asked. Nope, finders keepers, Naruto said holding the rabbit away from the man. Naruto, now is not the time for your jokes, Kakashi said. What, just because Zabuza is here don't mean I can't have fun, life of a shinobi is too short to be a stuck-up prick, Naruto said. Funu finally started laughing, which she was trying to hold in. Man, you're so, you said, then you held it away, she couldn't even get her words out through her laughter. You're a hazard to Fluffy's life, Zabuza. Can you hold your attack so I can seal her in a scroll? Naruto asked and pulled out a scroll and ink and started to make a seal for the rabbit. You named the rabbit after 10 minutes, Funu asked. Well, yeah, she can't be nameless, can she? Naruto asked. Naruto no baka, what makes you so sure it's a girl? Sakura yelled. Naruto looked at the pink pain in his, well, unless you're blind, deaf, retarded, and have a problem with your own ability, it's pretty damn hard not to notice it's a girl, he said, holding the rabbit up so she could see the female part of the rabbit. I waited long enough, time to kill the old man, Zabuza said. Naruto put the scroll in his pack. Cyclops, I am not at his level, so you're going to have to take him, if you can, that is, he said, dropping back next to Funu in a defensive position. A few minutes later, Kakashi was caught in Zabuza's bubble prison yelling at them to run back to the village. Naruto unsealed his gunblade. Anyone have a plan? He asked. They all thought, we need to free Kakashi-sensei, Sakura stated. Holy shit, that's freaking brilliant, why didn't anyone else think of that? How long did it take you to figure that out? Naruto asked sarcastically. Naruto, now is not the time, Funu said while thinking. Got it, Tem, do you have those large shuriken? She asked Sasuke. Yes, why? He asked. Because, she then told them the plan. Naruto summoned a bunch of clones and sent them all at Zabuza. Then Sasuke jumped and threw his large shuriken at Zabuza, who easily jumped over it. You're going to have to do better than that, he said. He then saw the second in its shadow. Shit, you bastards, he said, bringing his clever to block it. The one behind him popped. Back here, idiot, Naruto yelled, running across the ocean towards him, gunblade ready. Zabuza brought his clever around ready to strike Naruto. Now Funu, he yelled. The other large shuriken went pop and Funu was running at him from the front with Naruto from the back. Damn brats, he then pulled his hand out of the bubble and used a kunai to block the bow staff and his clever to block the gunblade. Kakashi kicked him in the back, sending him flying. Damn it, Zabuza yelled. Good work, Funu, now leave this to me. Kakashi then went through some hand signs. Why the hell do you insist on not giving me credit for my skills? Naruto yelled in frustration. Naruto, don't let the pervert we have for a sensei get to you, Funu said, walking back to shore with Naruto. Just as Kakashi was about to kill Zabuza, he was kicked and Zabuza was gone with whoever kicked him. Naruto shook his head at him. That's what he gets, he mumbled to Funu. The genins, mainly Funu and Naruto, dragged Kakashi to Tazuna house and was greeted by his daughter Tsunami. Thank you for keeping my Otusan safe, she said. Don't worry, miss, I would have came alone with him if I had to, Naruto said. Yay, and got yourself killed, Sasuke mumbled. Sakura's unwiped hem, Naruto said. Naruto, don't ever put an image like that in my head again, Funu said. Sorry, but your relative is an arrogant prick and he pisses me off, Naruto said. I know that, he is my relative, remember, Funu said. So what do we do now? Naruto asked. Fight me, Sasuke said. Fight yourself. Naruto said, turning to Tsunami. Is there anything you need help with around the house? I can catch fish or cut tree for warmth for next winter if you want, Naruto said. How sweet of you, but if you don't mind, I don't have enough food for everyone. It would be nice if you went to the market and get whatever you can, she said. Sure, anything to help, he said, and get away from those two, he mumbled. Funu, fight me, Sasuke said. Why don't you practice safe and go yourself? I'm going with Uzumaki. We don't know what enemies are here, Funu said, walking out the door behind him. The two started to walk around the village and noticed how poor it was. What the hell, we can't eat this stuff, Naruto said. It's all that they have, Naruto, and stop being so loud if you're going to talk bad, others can hear you, Funu said. I wonder how it got this bad. I was here 2 years ago before I came back to Konoha and it wasn't this bad, Naruto said. Must be that Gato guy, Funu said. I have an idea, follow me, Naruto said and ran back to the house. Make sure no one is watching. I'm going to grow them some vegetables, then we can go catch some fish, he said. Okay. Kage Bushin no Jutsu. She created 3 clones and sent them to watch Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. Our teammates are in the house nowhere near the window, she said. Mokuden. Vegetable grow no jutsu, he said. He put his hands on the ground and pushed his chakra through the ground. In the space all around them, all different kinds of vegetables grew. I'm going to do some fruit now, he told Funu. Okay, you are still clear to do it, Funu replied. Naruto went to another part of the yard. Mokuden. Fruit grow no jutsu, he said. All types of fruit bushes and trees grew. He got up and went through more hand signs. Mokuden. Fenced off no jutsu. A large fence grew around the yard going from the pier by the ocean all the way to the house. There no one will be able to get into their yard unless they use the ocean or from the house, he said. That was a nice thing you did, Funu said. Naruto shrugged. When you grow up like I did, you do anything you can to help others, he said. Now we need to get the food in the house without being noticed, Funu said. Well, if I'm sensing right there in the living room, we can run in the back door and then out the front door, then come back in, Naruto suggested. Okay, let's get going, Funu said. Once they returned to the house, they called Tsunami, who was pleasantly surprised by the fruits, vegetables, and fish they had. How did you get all this? The best I can ever get is almost old food, she asked. You have to promise not to tell anyone how we got it, Naruto said. I promise. Tell me please, I can't keep feeding my son this stuff, Tsunami said in desperation. Just tell her, Funu said before Naruto could say anything else. Well, I can use Mokuden jutsus to grow trees and with more concentration and chakra plants, so I used this ability to grow you a garden. You have vegetables and fruit growing in your yard. As long as they stay watered, you will always have food, Naruto said. Tsunami looked in her yard and almost squealed. Thank you so much, Naruto. She hugged and kissed him a few times on the cheek. She then hugged Fun just as tightly but didn't kiss her. Thank you so much, Funu. You may have saved my family, she said. It was our pleasure. Anytime you need something, send word to Konoha for an Uzumaki, Senju, or Funu and we will come help you, Funu said. That night at dinner, Tazuna and Inari was surprised at the freshness and tastiness of the food and got curious. Mom, where did you get this food from? It's so good, Inari asked. Tsunami could keep the giddiness and squeal out of her voice but knew her promise. Naruto and Funu intercepted a cart of vegetables, fruit, and fish going to Gato and killed the samurai and took the food for a son. She easily lied with all the happiness in the world. Thank you too. You kept my grandpa safe and got us good food. If there is anything I can do to thank you, then let me know, Inari said. Just don't give up faith in your country as long as you believe things will turn around, Naruto said. And always look after your cousin and show her your love as much as possible. You never know when you won't have her no more, Funu said. Kakashi slowly came down the steps. I knew I smelled something delicious, he said. You can thank those two. They caught a shipment of food headed to Gato and brought it here as payment for letting you all stay here, Tsunami lied again. Kakashi eyed the two. Is that so? Then a good job is in order, he said. Finally I get some freaking recognition on this damn team, Naruto said. Kakashi sat down and Tsunami brought him some food. Now I will be out of commission for a few days, so while I'm out I want you four to learn tree walking and water walking, he said. I already know both of those, Naruto spoke up. Then help the other three, Kakashi said. I know them too, Funu said. Then Lady Uchiha you help Sakura and help her with taijutsu and increasing her chakra reserve please, Kakashi said. Okay I will help her but only if she don't drop that Sasuke-kun crap while I'm helping her. The last thing I need is to hear her fawn over my Tem cousin during personal training, Funu said. She won't. Naruto you help Sasuke with tree walking and then teach him some jutsus that Jiraiya-sama taught you, Kakashi demanded. The hell I will. The best he gets from is a kick in the rear while falling out of a paper plane, Naruto said. Paper plane? Funu asked. Oh I'll show you later. It's a jutsu my cousin taught me, Naruto said. Naruto you will teach Sasuke some jutsus, Kakashi said. Yay when you teach me that Rasengan copy Chidori of yours, Naruto said. You're not skilled enough to learn that, Kakashi said. And he is not skilled enough to learn any of my jutsus, Naruto said. Naruto this is not a request it is a demand, Kakashi said. Miss Tsunami can I be excused? Naruto asked his host. Sure Naruto make sure to be back in time for a good night's sleep, she said. I will. Naruto got up and walked out the room not sparing another look at Kakashi. He took his plate to the kitchen and walked back and out the front door not saying anything but smiling at Tsunami. Funu looked at her team. Can I be excused? She asked Tsunami. Sure. She replied. I'll make sure he is safe, and took her plate to the kitchen and ran after Naruto. Hey slow down, she said once she caught up. Funu why are you out here? He asked. She shrugged. You think I want to be stuck in there with an arrogant cousin, fangirl, and a sensei who is clearly playing favorites with Sasuke. He even treat him better than he treats my and I'm the freaking heir to the clan, she said. Right well want to see that jutsu I told you I would show you, he asked. Yes please, she said. It's another bloodline, from my cousin's side of the family, he told her. Kami origami. Paper plane he said going through hand signs. A large piece of paper came out of the ground and formed into an airplane. The girls at home love this technique they always have me take them on rides over villages with it, he said. Can we go for a ride? She asked. Sure. He helped her up on the paper plane. Careful, and don't make sudden moves. Once it's in the air it's not as strong, and if I use Kyuubi's chakra it won't fly as fast, Naruto told her and jumped behind her. Okay I'm ready, she said. Naruto used his Fuden element and propelled the plane into the air and over Nami no Kuni. As they flew over the country Funu noticed something. Naruto look I think I found Gato's hideout, she said pointing to the large building with a ton of samurais. I think you did. Should we tell our team? Naruto asked. We can when we get back, but now I want to find that lion scroll your dragon said was here, Funu said. Naruto landed on the ground and jumped out. Taju Kage Bushin no Jutsu he said. 200 clones puffed into the area. Okay go find that lion summoning scroll leave no rock unturned no building unsearched, and a one of you go to Gato's place we saw and look around for useful information, he said. Kage Bushin no Jutsu 20 clones appeared in the area. You help look for the scroll, and one of you go to Gato's and look for information, Funu said. She then thought, wait I need another one to train, I haven't been able to get any in today, she said. One of you go train with her, Naruto said. They got back on the paper plane and started to fly over the country. They saw how poor Gato was making the place and both wanted to go and blow the building that Gato was in right now. Hey Naruto maybe we should find out who was helping Zabuza so we can be prepared, Funu said. They flew around the country looking for any clues as to where Zabuza was or who was helping him. Eventually they found a suspicious house that was too far out of the way and sent a clone there. Naruto looked at his watch. We better get back or Tsunami might worry, he said. Funu laughed. We are ninjas and we are worried about a civilian who we are protecting worrying about us, she laughed again. Naruto laughed also thinking it was kind of ironic. He landed the plane out of eyesight of the house. Why did you land so far away? She asked. I don't want Kakashi to try and demand I teach it to his precious Sasuke. Not that I can anyway since it's a bloodline but you know how the pervert is, Naruto answered. I got you, she said. How did he get the Sharingan? I thought only Uchihas could have them, Naruto asked. Not true. Only an Uchiha can use them to their full potential but it's still just an eye and all eyes can be transplanted, which reminds me, if I somehow die, I want you to take one of my Sharingans as a sign of our friendship, she said. Really you think of me as that much of a friend? Naruto asked. Funu smiled. You're as good of a friend I would ever want, she told him. Naruto went in his pack and pulled out a scroll. Funu here, he took out a letter that was on a piece of yarn. This is a sign of my friendship. As long as you have this we will always be friends and nothing can stop us from being friends, he said. Thanks Naruto, she took the letter F and out it around her neck. They walked in the house. Pervert we have something to report from our walk around the village, Naruto said. Kakashi flipped the page of his book and read a few lines which really ticked Naruto and Funu off because this information could be life or death. He finally looked up. What do you have to report? He asked as if he really didn't care. We found Gato's hideout. It's not even on this island but a few miles offshore and it's surrounded by samurais, Naruto said. We also found Zabuza. He is further up on the island leading to Kiri. It's the only house in the area so you can't miss it. He is with Kisame and a medic Nin, Funu said. Kakashi nodded. Good job Funu, he said. Can please close the door when you leave and sleep well, he said. Naruto walked out of the room fuming at Kakashi now. I can't believe that bastard didn't give me my credit again, he said angrily. I can't either, Funu said just as angry. They walked into the living room and sat on the couch. Tsunami walked in from the kitchen with a few apples. You shouldn't let him get to you so much. It's obvious to me, and I'm just a civilian woman, that he shows favorites towards that other boy, she said handing a piece of fruit. But he have been giving my credit to Tem since we became a team. If it wasn't for me talking up about the missions we was getting we wouldn't even be here now, Naruto complained. Hey I don't know how things work with you ninjas but us non-ninja people have a saying, what goes around comes around, and I think that things will come and bit all three of them in the soon, Tsunami said. And I hope it's by a rabid one-legged ferret with no teeth, Naruto said. Tsunami and Funu looked at him then they started laughing. The next day, everyone was up eating breakfast which consisted of fresh pancakes that Tsunami made from the wheat she harvested from the garden Naruto grew her. He added specific things at her request so she can make more well-rounded meals instead of just veggies and fruits, as Inari put it when he saw what they had in the fridge. As they ate Sasuke glared at Naruto the entire time. Naruto tried to ignore him like Tsunami suggested but this was started to be overboard. Tem what are you looking at? Just so you know I don't flip sticks, I like swimming in the pond, he said. It took them a few minutes to get what he was saying but when they did Tsunami, Funu, and Tazuna laughed. Kakashi had no reaction. Sasuke was seething. Inari didn't know what he was talking about and Sakura was jumping over the table at him. Naruto no baka Sasuke is not gay, she yelled swinging at his head which he ducked under. How can you be to shore? I mean only, a gay as you said, would constantly refuse a girl who is literally throwing herself at him, no matter how useless she is as a kunoichi, or how pink her hair is, or flat her chest is, Naruto said. I'm not throwing myself at him and I haven't reached puberty yet, Sakura yelled. Then do tell. What do you call it so we all can get our vocabulary right, Naruto asked. I'm just supporting him, she said. By throwing yourself at him? Naruto asked. No, by being there when he needs me, Sakura said. Even when he shows no interest in girls, I think I even caught him looking at me once. Why do you think I never turn my back on him when he is near me? Naruto said with a smirk. Sasuke-kun is not gay, you're the one who is gay. Naruto no baka, Sasuke yelled. I happen to know for a fact that Naruto is not gay, Funu said with a small blush as she remembered Naruto, poking her just above her ween went flying in his paper plane and knew it wasn't his hands because they was wrapped around her waist. Naruto also had a small blush as he remembered that. Sakura, can you get off my table before you have to eat your food on the floor? Tsunami said. Sorry, Miss Tsunami, Sakura said. I'm done. I'm going to get some training in before we have to watch Gigi build his bridge, Naruto said, leaving the house. I'll be ready in 30 minutes, Tazuna called after him. Funu, can you help me in the kitchen? Tsunami asked. Sure. Funu walked in the kitchen with her plate. What's up? She asked. How was your time with Naruto last night? You two was gone for quite a while, Tsunami asked. Well, it was great, she replied. Funu then made sure no one was listening. He has a bloodline that allows him to use kami origami also. He made this large airplane thing and we went flying over the country. It was so fun. I didn't want it to end, she said. Tsunami smiled. Sounds romantic, she said. She then looked at Funu. You like him, don't you? She asked. Funu actually blushed hard. What makes you ask that? She asked. Aside from that blush, you have been finding reasons to be with him the entire time you was here. I mean, make sure he is safe. What is the worst he will have to deal with? A few swordsmen. They are nothing compared to a shinobi who can make a full garden in 5 minutes, Tsunami said. Funu sighed. Honestly, I do. He just make me feel like a normal person. I'm not Princess Funu, or Funu the heir to the Uchiha clan, or Funu the girl who was born with Madara's talent. With him I'm just Funu teammate and friend, and he treats me like he treats his other friends even if we only knew each other for a few months. And honestly, when we was flying in his paper plane and he had his arms around my waist protectively, I felt as if that was where I belonged, like he was my knight in shiny orange armor, she said. Tsunami nodded. I remember that feeling when I fell in love with Inari's Otusan, except the flying around in a giant paper plane, of course. But you should talk to him about how you feel. You don't want to be sending him mixed signals, and that's what you're doing, and he is getting confused by them, she said. You think I should? From what I understand, he is dating this kunoichi named Hinata Hyuga, and we are rivals. I don't want to mess their relationship up, Funu said. I met him before a few years ago, and if I remember correctly, Naruto was the heir to 3 clans and was able to have more than one wife if he wants. So yes, I would suggest you talk to him before he closes off any chances and puts you in the friend-only category, Tsunami said. Thanks, Tsunami, I'll go talk to him now, Funu said, then hugged the older woman and ran out the house. Funu ran through the trees and found Naruto in a clearing with his shirt off, sparing his clone. She took a deep breath and walked out. You know, training is better if you have an actual person with you. That way they can tell you the mistakes you're making, she said. Yay, but the only person I would spar with without the worry of them trying to steal my moves is you, and I needed to get away from you to think clearly, he said. She nodded. Can we spar? I need to talk to you, but I'm too distracted by my own thoughts. Sparring will help get them straight, she said. Sure, Naruto said and dispelled his clones. The two started sparring. 5 minutes into the spar, Funu started. I talked with Tsunami and she told me I was sending you mixed signals, she said. Yes, usually I can tell what a person wants, but you I can't. Sometimes I get the feeling you only want to be a friend, then others it's like you hate me, then at times like last night I feel as if we really connected and you wanted more than just friendship. Quite frankly, Funu, you're a very confusing kunoichi, he said. She smiled. Honestly, I don't truly know what I want, but I know that I want to be with you. I like you Naruto and I am not sure when it started but last night I felt that when you had your arms around my waist in your paper plane that I was protected from everything in the world. You don't treat me like a princess or like I'm Grandpa Madara's legacy, you treat me like Funu which is what I want to be treated like, she said. Imagine a direct descendant of Madara and a direct descendant of the Tobirama talking about becoming more than friends, Naruto said. They stopped sparring and looked at each other and laughed at the irony of it. After they stopped laughing they laid down with Funu resting her head on Naruto's chest. We need to get back to our team before they come looking for us, Naruto said. Don't worry we can send them clones so we don't have to deal with their crap today, I personally want to go swimming, Funu said. But we have to go to the bridge with Tazuna, Naruto said. Which crosses the ocean Naruto we can still swim there, Funu said. Back at Tsunami House Tazuna was finished getting dressed and walked into the living room, whereas Naruto and Funu they are supposed to come with me to the bridge, he asked. The two named genins ran into the house sweating, we are here, sorry we got distracted by our spar, Naruto said. Tsunami tossed Funu 2 apples and winked at her. Funu caught the 2 and gave one to Naruto. Here Naruto, she said giving him an apple. Well let's get going, that bridge ain't going to build itself, Tazuna said walking out the house. They got to the bridge and both Funu and Naruto made a few cage bushings. They then took off their clothes leaving Naruto in his boxers and Funu in her bra and panties. Naruto looked at her and blushed, she has the body type of Sumitsu so why, he thought. Funu looked at him, are you going to stare at my body or come swim with me, she then jumped in the water followed by Naruto. 2 weeks later, Naruto woke up late in the morning to Funu shaking him. She slowly sat up, what time is it, he asked. It's 11 already, everyone else is at the bridge, Funu sent me to wake you, the clone said. What 11 why didn't they wake me, Naruto panicked. Because you overworked yourself training last night and Funu thought you needed the rest, the clone said. Naruto swung his feet off the bed, I'm going to shower, he said and walked out the room. A few minutes later Naruto was walking downstairs, well I'm off to the bridge, he said. Wait here eat some fruit on your way, Tsunami yelled from the kitchen. Okay thanks, Naruto replied. Hey Naruto leave a clone just in case Gato's men try something with Tazuna's family to get him to stop building the bridge, Funu said. Good idea. Kage Bushin no Jutsu Naruto created one clone and went outside, Kami origami, paper plane he said putting his hands on the ground creating a paper plane and jumping in it, soon he was taking off towards the bridge high up in the sky. Wow that's so cool, Inari yelled. Yes it is. But you can't tell anyone about that. After the mission is over we will create a clone to stay behind for a few hours to fly you and your cousin around the country, Naruto's clone said. That would be nice, Tsunami said. At the bridge Kakashi was fighting Zabuza while Sasuke and Funu was trying to fight Kisame. Sakura was guarding Tazuna. Kakashi was slowly getting the upper hand on Zabuza while Kisame was having the time of his life with Funu and Sasuke. Funu of course had her Sharingan active copying all his moves and jutsus. They both was knocked back by Kisame as he swung his Samahata at them. He started to laugh, is this the best that 2 Uchihas can do? Granted I wouldn't expect some genins to beat me, but still, Kisame said. Shut up you overgrown sushi, Funu said, Kisame just laughed. Naruto was now directly over the bridge and found Funu's chakra source. He jumped out of his plane and fell towards the ground extremely fast. He bit his thumb and swiped it across his seal grabbing his gunblade. He got closer and saw a blue figure looming walking towards Funu and Sasuke. He thought he saw Funu looked up at him because she attacked Kisame, but wasn't sure. Before he had another thought he slammed his gunblade on the ground cutting Kisame across his arm, but missed taking it off as he had intended. Kisame jumped back in surprise as he sensed Naruto at the last minute but dropped his Samahata in pain as his arm was cut, deeply by the blonde, You bastard, you will pay for that, he yelled. About time you got here, Naruto, Funu said. Sorry for oversleeping, Naruto said. Don't be. If you was here from the start, then we all would have been getting our kicked. This way we at least have a chance to fight him since he can only use one arm, Funu said. Why the hell is it so foggy? Naruto asked. It's a jutsu that Zabuza used, Funu said. Naruto went through some hand signs. Futen, great breakthrough, he said. The resulting wind blew the fog away, making everything clear again. Looks like your only cover is gone, Zabuza, your life is next. Kakashi went through some hand signs. Chidori, he used his Sharingan to freeze Zabuza while he plunged the attack into his heart. Damn it. Kisame grabbed his weapon and vanished in a burst of speed. Gato and all his men came up to the bridge. Looks like shinobis are useless, he said. Damn, I don't have enough chakra to fight them, Kakashi cursed. Leave this to me, Naruto said, stepping up. Taju Kage Bushin no Jutsu, he yelled, creating 500 clones. You know what to do, he said. The clones, all with gunblade in hand, attacked the samurais. Naruto went and dragged Gato over. What about him? Naruto asked. Kakashi threw a kunai at Gato's head, killing him. What about him? He asked. Naruto shrugged and threw him back towards the other dead people. Naruto burned Gato and his men, then bury Zabuza, Kakashi ordered. What? Why do I have to do the grunt work? Naruto yelled. Because you didn't do anything else, Kakashi said. What about Sakura? She didn't do anything, and I killed Gato's men, Naruto said. She protected Tazuna, Kakashi said. I'll help you, Naruto, Funu offered and went to pull the bodies into one pile. A few days later, Team 7 was standing in front of the newly built bridge. We must thank you for helping us get this bridge finished. Now we can start to bring money back to our country, Tazuna said. Otusan, we need a name for the bridge, Tsunami said. The super cool bridge built by Tazuna, the old man replied. No, Tsunami said. The awesome bridge of Nami no Kuni, Tazuna asked. Try again, Tsunami said. How about the awesome Naruto Uzumaki bridge, Inari suggested. Yes, I like it, Tazuna said. I agree, it's a perfect name, Tsunami said. Looks like you made a great impression on the country, Funu said. Naruto was speechless about the bridge being named after him. Well, team, time to get back to Konoha, Kakashi said and walked off. Naruto and Funu stayed behind for a few seconds. Taju Kage Bushin no Jutsu, Naruto said. Kage Bushin no Jutsu, Funu said. Naruto created 200 clones while Funu created 20. You know what to do, they both said and caught up with their team. At Konoha's gate, Naruto and Funu got the information back from their clones and smiled. It took longer to make a few farms and trees than I thought it would, Naruto said quietly. Yes, it also took a while to teach the people how to fish and create flour from wheat. The only one who knew how to do it was Tsunami, Funu said. What are you two talking about? Kakashi asked. Nothing, they both said. They arrived in the Hokage's office. How was the mission? The third asked. Besides Naruto not following orders, it was fine, Kakashi said. Not following orders? The third asked. I was injured and I told Naruto to help Sasuke with a few jutsus that I have, and he argued that he wasn't going to help Sasuke and went on about kicking him out of a paper airplane, whatever that is, Kakashi said. What, you lie, it wasn't anything like that. You tried to make me teach Tem my jutsus that I worked hard to learn, Naruto yelled. Naruto, be quiet until I give you permission to speak, the third aide. But Gigi. Naruto was cut off. Be quiet or I will be forced to call Konan, and she is in a pissed off mood right now, the third said. Naruto huffed and shut up. Now Kakashi, I want a full report, the third said. Kakashi told him the mission report, with a few alterations to make Sasuke look good and Naruto look like he was a waste of time. So as you can see, the only useful thing Naruto did was find some fresh food and locate where Gato hideout was, he finished. Is that all? The third asked. Yes, Kakashi replied. Okay, you're all dismissed. Naruto and Funu, you two stay, he said. Once the other three was gone, he addressed them. I know Kakashi is showing favorites towards Sasuke and altered the mission report to make him look good. I had an Anbu follow the team during the entire mission. What he told me is why Konan is so pissed off, but more importantly, you two must learn to deal with them if you want to succeed as ninjas, because you can't advance in ranks if you are kicked off your team for insubordination. Next time Kakashi requests for any of you to show Sasuke a jutsu, tell him you can't because your jutsus are clan only and don't make a scene with it, he told them. Okay, Naruto said. Good. Now what's this paper plan Kakashi talked about? The third asked. Well, Gigi, it's a jutsu that Kasen taught me. Using our kami origami, we can create a paper plane strong enough to fly up to 2 people. It's a great way to transport injured people or just to fly around for fun, Naruto said with a smile. Is that so? You will have to show it to me one day. The third was interrupted by a knock on the door. Come in, he said. Yugo and her team came into the room. We are back from our mission. Oh, I didn't know you was busy, she said, seeing Naruto and Funu. Oh, I'm not. We was just catching up and I learned an interesting fact about Naruto that I never knew, the third said. Oh, well, the mission was a success, and Hinata expertly negotiated a treaty between Konoha and Kiri, Yugo said. I must say, Hinata, your skills with political things is as good as, if not surpassing, your Kasen. You have a bright future as a diplomat, the third praised. Hinata blushed slightly. Thank you, Hokage-sama, she said. Well, if that is everything, you all can leave. I have a lot of paperwork to do, as you can see, the third said. Why don't you use Kage Bushin? They will help greatly with your work, Naruto asked. The third just chuckled at the simple solution as everyone left. Hey, Naruto, want to come to my compound? I'm cooking lunch when I get there, Suduru asked. Really, I'm hungry. I would love to come. Your cooking is so good, Naruto said excitedly while Yugo laughed lightly. Naruto then thought about something. Wait, I need to talk to Hina, he said. Hinata looked at him confused, then at Funu and back. About what? She asked. Naruto fidgeted. Can we talk in private? He asked. Okay. She led him down the hallway. Now, Hina, I want to ask. He was cut off. I approve, she said. Huh? Naruto asked, dumbfounded. You want to ask if you can bring Funu in on our family, and since I'm the lead girl, you need to ask me, and she needs my approval, and I approve of her, Hinata said. How did you know? Naruto asked. Hinata smiled. Naru-kun, we have been best friends since before we can remember. I know you better than you know yourself, and you only get this nervous when it's about our family. It was the same thing with Kirei, Haku, and Riri, even though she isn't officially in it yet, and Funu is a nice girl when you get to know her, and she is strong mentally and physically, not to mention when I need to kick someone's I won't have to go far to find her, she said. You're the best, Hina, Naruto said, hugging her and kissing her. They caught up with her team. So Uchiha, are you coming with us? Hinata asked. Funu met her eyes. Sure, whatever, Hyuga, she said. Naru-kun, don't forget to let Tsunade and Konan know. You know how they hate surprises like this, Hinata said. At the Senju compound, Naruto and Funu walked into the Senju compound after leaving the Akamichi compound, and Hinata explaining how things worked with their harem. Basically, it was Hinata automatically gets the original Naruto when there are more than one girl around. Unless Naruto was already with a girl, then they could keep him. All girls first need to prove to Naruto that they like him for him and not his name or bloodlines. All girls need Hinata's approval. Only the combined approval or denial of both Tsunade and Konan can overrule Hinata's decision on a girl. All girls called Naruto by the name Naru-kun to show everyone else that they was part of the family. All girls must have a summon or sign a summon contact before they are considered part of the family. All girls must be independent and not wait for Naruto to take care of them. And finally, all girls are to treat each other like sisters. That didn't mean they couldn't have a friendly rivalry between them. Funu nervously followed Naruto, wondering if his cousin and Itoko would like her or deny her from being with Naruto. She blocked those thoughts out of her head and walked behind Naruto with the confidence that she would be accepted. Wait here, Funu, I have to make sure that they are not in a meeting, Naruto said and walked into the house. He looked around. Cousin Itoko, he called out. In the kitchen, Konan replied. Naruto walked into the kitchen and saw Konan, Shizune, Tsunade, Anko, Kurenai, Rin, Kirei, Haku, and Riri sitting at the table. What's going on? He asked. Nothing, just bored, Riri replied. Oh, Naruto said. So did you want something, Naru-chan? Konan asked. Oh yes, well, Hinata approved of someone and well, you know, he said. Oh, she did. What's her name? Konan asked. Funu, Naruto whispered quietly. I didn't hear you, Naru-chan, Konan said. Funu, Naruto said louder. The Uchiha girl? Tsunade asked. Yes, he replied. Why would Hinata approve of her? I thought they hated each other, Kirei asked. They don't hate each other. They are more of rivals. I can understand why she approved, though they fight every time they see each other just like real sisters, Anko said. Well, bring her in, Konan said. Naruto went to get Funu and brought into the kitchen, so I finally meet the only sane member of Naru-chan team, Konan said. So why should I approve of you? Tsunade asked. Well, honestly, I didn't know I liked Naruto until our last mission in Nami no Kuni, when Tsunami, who by the is very nice, told me I was sending him mixed signals. Once I was able to clear my thoughts, I found out that in fact I did like him more than the friend I thought of him as, Funu said. What made you realize you liked him though? Konan asked. Well, every time Sensei would demand Naruto to teach Sasuke a jutsu, I would end up just as mad as Naruto was. Then one day when Naruto left the house to clear his thought, I ran after him without thinking and tried all I could to make him happy again. Then he asked me if I wanted to see one of his jutsus, the paper plane one. He flew me around and had his arms around my waist so protectively, yet in a gentle way also. That's when I knew I would do anything to get him to wrap his arms around me like that again, and to see his bright smile, Funu told them. Tsunade nodded. I'm actually surprised you told us all that. Most girls would have tried to impress us by talking about how they can add to our clan to make it stronger and stuff like that, she said. Well, I do want to be with someone who is strong and protect me, but I'm a kunoichi and I don't like bragging about my skills. Besides, there is nothing I can give your clan that will make it stronger. The Senju is historically one of the strongest clan, and the only clan to have two sub-clans branching off from it. If anything, you all can help me get stronger, Funu said. Tsunade smiled. I like you, you have my approval, she said. Konan looked at Funu. How do you feel about avenging you clan? She asked. Funu had a distant look in her eyes. Well, if I come across Itachi, then I will fight him, but I won't waste my life seeking revenge, she said. Will you use my nephew for your revenge? Konan asked. Nephew? I thought you was his cousin, Funu asked. No, his Okasan was my older sister. Now answer my question, Konan said. If he wants to help, then I won't stop him, but I also won't force him to help. It's completely up to him. Like I said, I'm not looking for revenge. I'm sure Itachi had more of a reason than just testing his power. Also, I really don't want revenge just to find out the truth, Funu said. Konan looked at her for 10 long minutes. Funu got nervous under her gaze. You have my approval, she finally said. Funu smiled. Thank you. You won't regret your decision, she said. Now there are a few requirements you have to meet. First, do you have a summon? Tsunade asked. Summoning no jutsu, Funu said, and summoned a small lion. Naruto helped me find the contract while we was in Nami no Kuni, she said. Okay, second, you will refer to Naru-chan as Naru-kun whether it's out in public or in private, Konan said. Okay, Funu replied. Next, Hina gets first choice of the original Naruto when he makes clones of himself for everyone, Tsunade said. Funu nodded. Next, you have to go through our family training program, which consist of learning you to use 20 different weapons, and 4 different taijutsu styles, Konan said. You must decide if you are to move into the Senju compound or stay at your apartment, Tsunade said. I want to live here if I can, Funu said quickly. Next, since you are the heir to the Uchiha clan, I expect you to bring a copy of all the scrolls, jutsu and information scrolls, in the Uchiha compound here for your reference, and I expect you to have 2 Uchiha babies with my nephew by the time you turn 18. Don't feel like we are being hard, everyone has the same restrictions as you, even Hina, his first original girlfriend. The 3 you see here already have met all the requirements except have 2 children, Konan said. Also, you have to add your chakra and blood to all the seals in the compound, and you are not to go in another bedroom without the personal consent of who the room belonged to, Tsunade said. Oh, one more thing, in our library you will find different sections. Senju, Namikaze, Uzumaki, Hyuga, Haku, Jiraiya, Rin, Riri, Kagaya, Mitarashi, Yugito, Uehi, Azuki, and Naru-chan will add an Uchiha section later today. All sections with a name over it is off limits except to the family of that person. There is also a main section that is open to everyone with all types of jutsus and scrolls for you to study. But if you are caught in a section that is off limits to you for any reason except the person whose section you're in being there with you, well, you don't want to know what will happen, as every section has multiple traps and even I won't survive in those sections, Konan said. Funu nodded her understanding. So can Naru-kun go in other sections, she asked. No, even Naru-chan is forbidden in a section that does not have his blood in the seal, Konan said. Just stay out any section that's not your and you will be safe. Also, I suggest you write down a complete scroll for every jutsu you copy with your Sharingan so your kids can learn them, Tsunade said. That reminds me, you're forbidden to use your Sharingan to copy any of our family's jutsus. The family includes Anko, Haku, Hinata, Jiraiya, Kirei, Kurenai, me, Naruto, Rin, Riri, Shizune, Tsunade, Yugito, and Yugo, Konan said. Okay, I have a question. You named Shizune on the family list but no on the Forbidden Library section. Why? And why aren't the Namikaze Senju and Uzumaki in one section if they are descendants of the Senju clan? Funu asked. Well, Funu, Shizune is part of the family but she chose not to make a forbidden section and just make her section the medic section since most of her jutsus are in that field except a few element jutsus she uses which are in the main section. As for your second question, the Namikaze and Uzumaki are descendants of the Senju but we can't use each other's jutsus, meaning the Senju can't use kami origami that the Uzumaki use, neither can the Namikaze. And the Uzumaki and Namikaze can't use Mokudan jutsus, and the Senju or Uzumaki can't use the seals that the Namikaze are famous for. Naru-chan is truly the only person able to use all 3 at the moment, just how you and Hinata are descendants of each other but you can't use each other clan-specific jutsus, Konan said. Now Funu, here is an extra large scroll. It should be big enough to hold everything in the Uchiha compound you need to bring. Once you come back, Naru-chan will have your section completed and your bedroom will be marked with your name, Tsunade said, handing her a huge scroll. Also, you will see a section that has summoning scrolls in it. You can put your lion contract in it so you won't have to keep carrying it around, Konan said. A few weeks later, Funu read the scrolls for the different weapon styles she was supposed to learn with her 20 clones. Each clone had a scroll for a different weapon, cutting down the time it would take to learn them to just a few weeks. Surprising to everyone, she got along well with Riri since they both had the same attitude. At the moment, the 2 kunoichis was in the Senju training grounds going over the last level for Funu, then she would be finished learning how to use the 19 different weapons since she was already a level 5 master with the bow staff. Naruto walked up to them. Hey, want to go flying with me? He asked. Sure, Naru-kun, I'm tired from training so much anyway, Riri said. Mita, Funu said. Naruto made a clone and produced 2 paper airplanes. Which of us get the real Naru-kun? Riri asked. Let's flip a coin for it, Funu suggested. Fine, Riri said. and flipped a coin. The four hopped in the two planes and they took off. They was flying over the village up high so no one could see them but close enough so they could see everything. Naruto flew them over the training ground to see if anyone was there and was surprised to find Kakashi training Sasuke. The three shinobis plus the clone looked down on them train. Funu activated her Sharingan and copied the jutsus that Kakashi was teaching Sasuke. Eventually Kakashi demonstrated the Chidori and Reikiri both, which was copied by Funu. Hey, let's go back to the compound. I want to try something, Funu said after she measured how Kakashi was using his chakra. Naruto flew them back to the compound and Funu immediately got off the plane and went through some hand signs. The first two tries nothing but small sparks came out. On her third try she put as much chakra as she could in it. Chidori, she yelled. The jutsu worked properly and was so loud Naruto and Riri covered their ears and Konan and Yugito ran out the house to see what was happening. Funu then passed out from chakra depletion. Naruto caught her before she hit the ground. What the hell happened? Konan asked. We was flying over the village and found Kakashi training Sasuke and she copied his jutsu and wanted to see if she could do it, Naruto said. She will never be able to use it right unless she goes through Raiden training, Yugito said. I'll collect everyone so you can put them all through the training, Konan said. Sure. Personally I think everyone should be trained to use any element, Yugito said. We might start that, Konan said. 2 months later. Suduru was walking around the village board when she saw Naruto talking to the Konohamaru Corps. She went over to them. Hello Naruto, she said. Hi Suduru, want to play with us, Naruto said. What are you playing? Suduru asked. Ninja. Konohamaru said happily. I would love to play, Suduru said. How pathetic, ninjas playing ninjas, they heard a female's voice behind them. They turned around. Boss, who is the flat-chested, big forehead, pink-haired, loud-mouthed girl? Konohamaru asked. That would my teammate, Naruto said. I feel sorry if you have to deal with that, Moegi said. I feel sorry for myself, the only thing she does right is get in the way, Naruto said. Naruto, she may be useless but it's not nice to talk about people, Suduru nicely told him. I think she can still hear us, Udon pointed to the fuming pissed off Sakura marching over to them. No worries, she won't dare touch me, my grandfather is the Hokage, Konohamaru said. Naruto no baka, why are you corrupting those innocent kids and that poor Akamichi with your nonsense? She swung her fist at Naruto but was stopped by Suduru. Don't touch my friend, you useless excuse for a kunoichi, or I will put you in the hospital, Suduru threatened. Let's see you try. Sakura went through some hand signs. Bushin no jutsu, she said. People actually use that jutsu in a fight? Naruto asked. Suduru was just as shocked by the useless jutsu. Go figure, it's the only one she can use with her pathetic chakra, she said. She then went through some hand signs, secret art, body expansion right arm and smacked all three Sakuras, sending the real one flying back. Sakura tried to get up but was surrounded by Funu, Hinata, Kirei, Haku, Riri, and Suduru. She looked at the girls. What do you all want? She asked. Why do you always have to attack Naru-kun? Hinata asked. He is corrupting those kids and Suduru, Sakura yelled. I can't be corrupted unless I want to be, Suduru said. That's just Naruto no baka messing with your head, Sakura replied. Funu smirked. I'm going to love our spar later today in team training. It's been a while since I went all out on someone who is not a Hyuga, she said, looking evilly at Sakura. Said girl gulped. I have to go. She then tried to run past Riri but was stopped by her outstretched arm. Be lucky Naru-kun and Funu needs you alive to take the Chunin exams or I would kill you where you stand, she said, then moved away from the frightened girl. Wow boss, these girls are way better looking than the pink-haired wench, Konohamaru said. Konohamaru, don't use that language, Naruto told him. Sorry. Hey, you all want to play ninja with us? Konohamaru asked. Okay. They all replied and started to play ninja. The Konohamaru Corps surprised them at how good their teamwork was. Once they was finished playing, they was about to go to a restaurant when Sudaru offered to cook. Hey Sudaru, I have a recipe book, can you cook something out of it? Naruto asked, hopping around with hope. Sudaru smiled. Of course I can, Naruto, she said. Yes, Sudaru is the best. Naruto cheered, pulling out the scroll that had all his recipe books he collected in them. After they ate the western food Sudaru cooked, she thought about something. Naruto, you should take one of these books to Tuki so he can add the food to his restaurant and get more business. He told me that besides me and you he don't get much business, she said. I will, Naruto said. Funu just finished kicking Sakura around the training ground, which Kakashi stopped after he realized that Funu wasn't holding back like she usually did. He had a minor healing jutsu and healed the beaten girl. Funu walked over to the bench and sat down with a satisfied look on her face. While Funu, you was serious when you said you wasn't going to hold back, wasn't you? Naruto asked. Naru-kun, she has to learn her place, and as long as she keeps that attitude I will keep putting her in her place, Funu said. That sounded like something Tem would say, Naruto said. Funu shrugged. We both know she is the lesser kunoichi on this team and her attitude is starting to wear thin on my patience with her, but more importantly, when are you going to put Tem in his place, she asked. And risk him stealing my taijutsu and jutsus? No thank you, Naruto said. You know, the longer he thinks he is the same level as you, the more he will treat you as if you're just Kyuubi in human form, Funu said. I know, but I don't want to risk anything. You saw how easy it is to piss Konan off. If I accidentally show my bloodlines to them, she will flip freaking waffles on my, he said. Funu laughed. Where did you get that one from? She asked. Sudaru made waffles this morning, and let me try them. I tell you, if cooking was a ninja form, Sudaru would rule this world, Naruto said. You really like her cooking, don't you? Funu asked. Yes. Also, she is a pretty damn good kunoichi, but I'm confused about her. How can she eat that much but still have a figure that rivals Sume and Hana Inuzuka? Naruto asked. Been checking out the Inuzuka head and air out, have you? Funu asked, smirking. What? No. I may have peeped here and there on them, but nothing bad, Naruto panicked. Funu laughed. You know, if they catch you, not even Konan will save you, she said. I think Hana already caught me once because she looked right at the spot I was in, smirked, then continued to undress and walked around for a few minutes before getting in the shower, Naruto said. I'll talk to her about it. Don't worry, I won't say anything about you, Funu said. Naruto, I need you to help Sasuke perfect some jutsus, Kakashi piped up. No, I'm not teaching him a damn thing, Naruto said. I'm not asking, Kakashi said. And I'm not helping. My jutsus are the property of Uzumaki Incorporated and will stay that way, Naruto replied. If you don't, I will not allow you to enter the Chunin exams, Kakashi said. Again, I say bullshit because I know for a fact you won't leave Tem out of these exams, Naruto said. I need to find out why Rin gave you cousin Obito's Sharingan because I doubt he asked for it to be given to you, Funu said. Obito was my best friend, Kakashi said. I don't care, I'm not teaching Tem a damn thing, Naruto said. Naruto no baka, why are you holding Sasuke-kun back? Sakura yelled. Why did he flip sticks? Naruto retorted. Sasuke-kun is not gay. Sakura got up and started to march over to Naruto. Haruno, do you really want to do what you're thinking of doing? Funu asked, tilting her head to the side. Funu no baka. Sakura huffed and sat down. Good girl. Now repeat after me, I will not touch Naru-kun again. Funu said. Funu, I would not like my name to come out of her mouth like that, Naruto said, interrupting her. Fine. Repeat this, Haruno. I will not touch Naruto because if I do, Funu-sama will kick my UP and down the village again, Funu said. Sakura just glared at the Uchiha girl. Idiot, fight me, Sasuke said. Tem, go flip sticks with someone else. I already told you I like swimming in the pond, Naruto said. Again, I can attest to that statement personally, Funu said happily. Funu, you're a disgrace to all the Uchiha killed by Itachi, focusing on love instead of trying to avenge their deaths, Sasuke said. Funu looked at the older Uchiha. I don't care about revenge. My parents was killed on a mission when I was 2, all the Uchihas did was treat me as if I'm a fragile object. They all was scared to treat me like a kid because I'm a few generations the granddaughter of Madara, the first Uchiha with the Mangekyo Sharingan, and you say that I'm a disgrace. No, the disgrace is you. Uchihas don't go looking for revenge, they learn from their mistakes and get stronger. If I cross Itachi, then I will fight him. Not for revenge, but because he will be my enemy, and that's the only reason I will fight him, she said. A week later, Funu was walking through the village and was surprised that Hinata joined her on her walk. Where are you headed, Uchiha? She asked. To the Akamichi compound. Naru-kun told me I should try Sudaru waffles and I wanted to taste them. Where are you going, Hyuga? Funu replied. Nowhere, I was bored and saw you and decided to walk with you, Hinata said. Want to join me at Sudaru's? Funu asked. Sure, Hinata said. They arrived at the Akamichi compound and Sudaru opened the door. What a surprise! If I knew I would be having company, I would have woke up earlier to prepare, she said. Don't worry, Sudaru, you look fine, Hinata said. So what do I owe the pleasure? Sudaru asked. Well, Naru-kun have been talking about your waffles all week, and kept telling me I should try them, so here I am. Hinata joined me out of boredom, Funu said. Sudaru eyed them both. No fighting in my house. Konan was pissed last time you two was here, she said. We promise not to fight, Hinata said. Come on in, you can go to my room while I shower, Sudaru said. An hour later, Hinata, Funu, Choji, and Sudaru was eating waffles. Wow, Sudaru, Naru-kun was right, these waffles are amazing, Funu said. I agree, you will make some guy very happy with your cooking. Along with your looks, someone will be lucky to be your boyfriend, Hinata said. Choji coughed on his food. What's this about boyfriends? He said after he got his cough under control. What, Choji? I don't have a boyfriend, I promise, Sudaru said, waving her hands in front of her. Sorry, we didn't mean it like that. We was saying that in the future when she does have a boyfriend, Funu said. Choji calmed down. Good, no boy gets close to my Imouto without my permission and approval, he said. Wow, overprotective a little, Choji? Hinata asked. You're one to talk, Hina, Funu said. Hinata blushed. That is completely different, she said. How? Funu asked. What are you talking about? Choji asked. Well, me and Naru-kun have been best friends for as long as we could remember. Over the years we became closer and now I'm his girlfriend. Well, one of them, but he can't get another one without my permission and approval. Hinata then explained everything to the two Akamichis. You mean Naruto already is taken? Sudaru pouted and dropped her shoulders. Funu, Hinata, and Choji looked at her. You like Naruto? Choji asked. I liked him the first time I saw him at the ramen restaurant and we had that eating competition, which I easily won, but over the months and all his praises on my cooking and the spars we had, I started to develop more feelings than just like for him. I can say I'm in love with him, Sudaru said. Choji, Hinata, and Funu was shocked. They didn't know what to say. It was quiet for a few minutes. Will you be willing to share? Hinata finally spoke up. That's one of the first things that Akamichis learn. Why? Sudaru asked. Well, if you are willing to give it a try, we could let you join our sisterhood, Hinata said. Sisterhood? Sudaru asked. Yay, it's me, Funu, Kirei, Haku, Riri, Yugito, Anko, Kurenai, Yugo, Shizune, and Rin, Hinata said. Choji, what do you think? Sudaru asked. Choji thought. Will my Imouto be protected? He asked. Yup, Hinata said. Will she be treated as an equal? Choji asked. Of course, the only thing different than how she is treated now is she will be part of our sisterhood and get to go through our clan training, which since you're her twin you can go through also. Hanabi has already started it, but is going at a much slower pace than you will be going at, Hinata said. Choji nodded thinking, I think you should. Naruto is a great guy, and fun. He is the type of guy the first would want you to be with, he finally said. Really, thanks so much Choji, Suduru said, hugging him. Yay, get off me Suduru, Choji said. Come on Suduru, we have to ask Tsunade and Konan for approval then tell you the clan rules, Hinata said while she and Funu grabbed her hands and left, leaving Choji to clean the table. The three arrived at the Senju compound and found Konan and Tsunade in the living room. What brings you three here so early? Don't you have team training? Tsunade asked. Yes, but this is important, Funu said. What's so important? Konan asked. Suduru wants to join us, Hinata said. Konan looked at her. I approve, she said. I approve, Tsunade said. What, that's it, no long questions about her motives or anything like that, Funu asked. Nope, Tsunade said. What, why not? Funu asked. Konan shrugged. Suduru has almost the purest of heart a person can be. Besides, a member of her clan didn't kill everyone in it, but two, and another member isn't hell-bent on revenge, she said. So I went through all that because of what those two did and is doing. That's hardly fair, Funu asked. We needed to make sure that you're not just using Naru-chan to get revenge on Itachi. It had absolutely nothing to do with you personally, but we needed to protect our clan, Konan said. Funu sighed. That makes sense, she said. Then told Suduru the rules and about her needing to bring a copy of the Jutsu scrolls in her compound to her personal section of the library later today and about her training she will undergo. A few hours later, Funu walked into the Inuzuka compound and was sitting in Hana's room. Said teen walked into her room after talking to her mother. So what brings you here Funu? I haven't talked to you in a while, Hana asked. I was wondering if you have seen the guy who has been peeping on a few girls around the village, Funu asked. If you're asking if I noticed Naruto peeping on me, then yes I have. At first I was surprised that he would risk it to peep on me while I showered and changed, but after a while I started to tease him, Hana said. Funu blinked. What makes you think I'm talking about Naru-kun? She asked. Hana rolled her eyes. Why else would you care? I know you Funu, and you don't care about no one who is not your friend enough to look after them this much, she said. Oh, so he hasn't been caught by anyone else? Funu asked. Not that I know of, but tell him before he thinks about it. Kasen killed the last person who tried to peep on her, Hana warned. I'll tell him, Funu said. Also, if he want to, he will have to work for it. I'm not going just go to him because he's seen me a few times, Hana said before Funu left. 2 weeks later, every ninja in the village was in the Chunin Stadium for the annual Junin promotion to Anbu and Chunin promotion to Junin. The notable ninjas there was Rin, Konan, Anko, and Riri, all being promoted to Anbu except Riri, who was being promoted to Junin. The Hokage had promoted everyone except Rin. Well, usually I would promote everyone, but someone came to me with a request to promote Rin, so will Kakashi come to the stand now, he said. Kakashi walked to the stand and nodded to the Hokage. The last to be promoted is a kunoichi who has shown time after time that she deserves her position not only in the Anbu but also as one of the elite kunoichis in the village. She has went above everything that was asked of her and came out on top every time. She is in my mind the best kunoichi from this village since Tsunade-sama herself. Everyone clapped. Konan, Anko, and Riri looked at Rin in confusion, who just shrugged just as confused. Now that I talked enough, will Rin please come forward to accept her new Anbu mask and position as head of the Anbu medic unit, Kakashi said. Rin walked up and grabbed her mask. Thank you Kakashi, she said sweetly. Rin, before you leave, he spoke out, stopping Rin in her tracks. Yes? She asked. Kakashi took a deep breath. We have known each other for a long time, right? He asked. Yes, I would say we even had a thing, Rin said. Yes, well, since you have been gone I realize that you mean so much to me, Kakashi said. Rin smiled. Really? What exactly do I mean to you and how much? She asked sweetly. In the crowd, Tsunade, Konan, Anko, Yugo, Shizune, Kurenai, Riri, Sume, and everyone else who knew about Naruto and Kakashi's relationship was looking at Rin in confusion. Everyone else just watched the entire thing play out. Well, you mean everything to me. I love you so much that it hurt me when you was gone for so long, Kakashi said. Ah, I mean that much to you. Wait, where are you going with this? Rin asked. Well, you see, we've been through so much since we was genins with Obito and Minato sensei. I would like to ask for your hand in marriage, Kakashi asked. Everyone looked at him in shock and looked at Rin to see how she would answer. Marriage, Rin asked. Yes, I can't see myself with any other woman but you, Kakashi said. Ever since we was kids I have liked you, Kakashi. Rin started but stopped and looked at the sky and smiled. In my heart the answer is clear, Kakashi Hatake, I will. Rin stopped to let the suspense build. Answer, stop making us wait, Akunoichi yelled. Rin looked out at the crowd, then back at Kakashi and punched him square in the nose. Kakashi staggered back and looked at Rin in shock along with everyone else. What, not the answer you wanted, Kakashi? She asked. No, not what I thought you would answer, Kakashi said. Rin smiled sweetly again and punched him again. Well, here is my answer. I will have nothing to do with you, Kakashi Hatake, she yelled at him. Why? We always talked about getting married when we was on the same team, Kakashi asked. Yeah, and Obito had both his eyes in his head and Sensei wasn't dead, Rin said. What the hell is going on? Someone from the crowd yelled. Yay! I thought you always wanted to marry him, someone else yelled. Tell me, what promise did we make Sensei when he died? Rin asked. That we will protect his family. What does that have to do with anything? Kakashi asked. You have done nothing to protect his family, Rin said. What, they are dead? Kakashi said. Really? Last time I checked, Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki was alive and well, and I don't think Kushina Uzumaki is dead either, Rin said. What are you talking about? Of course they are dead, Kakashi said. Are you stupid? I swear I shouldn't have gave you that eye from Obito, and it's only because he asked me that I gave it to you. Naruto Uzumaki is the only blonde shinobi that's not related to Ino, and he is on your team, Rin said. What? But he can't be Sensei's son, Kakashi said. Why? Rin asked. Because. Kakashi was stomped. Face it, Kakashi, you talk big and strong about teamwork, but all you have done is play favorites towards Sasuke and attempt to force Naruto to teach him jutsus that Naruto spent years learning and mastering, Rin said. No, I haven't. I simply asked Naruto to help Sasuke at times. Kakashi tried to defend himself. Rin punched him again, this time with a chakra-enhanced fist. You Ling bastard, I have witnesses who told me that you tried to constantly force Naruto to teach Sasuke his jutsus, including Funu, your other genin, she said. Is that true, Kakashi? Someone in the crowd yelled. No, I would never do something like that, Kakashi said, getting up from the crowd. Rin kicked him, making him fall back to the ground, and stomped her foot on his stomach. So you think I'm making this up? Fine, I'll prove it to you, she said. What are you talking about? Tsunade yelled just for the hell of it, and she was enjoying seeing him get beat like this. Rin smiled. Well, if you could, can you retrieve Funu Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki? She asked the Anbu that was closest to her. Once the four had arrived, Rin spoke. Now you four are here to answer a simple question, she said. Why is Kakashi sensei on the ground? Sakura asked. Don't speak until I tell you to, Rin demanded. Sakura shrieked back and mumbled a, yes ma'am. Now first up, Naruto, how does Kakashi treat you during training? She asked. Well, all he does is demand I teach Tem no stick flipper my jutsus, Naruto said. That's hardly a fair trial. Of course he would say that, Kakashi said. Rin increased the pressure on his stomach. I didn't tell you to speak, did I? She asked. Kakashi was about to reply until Rin glared at him. Now Sakura, what goes on during team training? She asked. Well, Funu no Baka and Naruto no Baka just sits around flirting. Kakashi-sensei tries to get them to do things but they ignore him, and Naruto no Baka holds Sasuke-kun back by not teaching him jutsus like Kakashi-sensei tells him. If you ask me, Naruto no Baka should be punished for holding Sasuke-kun back, and she was cut off by Rin. No, asked for all that crap, Bo, shut up, Funu, Rin said. Well, when he is not reading his porn and looking at me as if he is trying to undress me, Funu visibly shivered. He is reading his porn while demanding either me or Naru-kun teach tem no stick flipper baka or jutsus, she said. Now Sasuke, if you will, Rin said. Sasuke just turned his nose. I don't have to answer to a half-kunoichi like you, he said. Funu, do you mind? Rin asked. Certainly, Funu said and vanished. Sasuke grunted in pain as he found himself on his knees at Rin's feet. Now cousin no stick flipper tem answer the question, Funu said with her foot on his back and both his arms in her hands behind his back. Get off me, Funu, Sasuke yelled. Shut up. I'm the heir to the Uchiha clan, not you. I tell you what to do, not the other way around. Now answer the question, Funu said. That's enough, Funu, he don't have to answer the question. We have enough information from him, Rin said. Funu took her foot off Sasuke and let him get up. Now Kakashi, I'm not a kunoichi without compassion or fairness, so I will let you defend yourself, she said. Kakashi stood and tried to save what dignity he had left. I wasn't aware of these circumstances or that sensei's son was alive, he said. You liar, Rin said. At least give me a chance to make up for my mistake, he asked. Rin smiled her sweet smile, that Kakashi quickly became to fear, and walked up to him and put her arms around his neck, in a hug. Go to hell, Kakashi, she said, introducing her chakra-enhanced knee into his unprotected genitals, getting a high-pitched squeak of pain from him. She watched as his one eye rolled into the back of his head with a smile. Let's let everyone see what you look like under the mask, she said, and reached down and ripped off his mask. She had a thought to spit in his face, but decided not to. The third walked up to the stage. I want to know exactly how much Kakashi favored Sasuke to his other students, so we will have a small match, Naruto vs Sasuke and Funu vs Sakura, he said. Kick his Naru-chan, Konan yelled. Okay, Naruto and Sasuke begin, the third said. Naruto stood ready as Sasuke attacked him. They exchanged taijutsu at high speed until Sasuke jumped back. Kaden, great fireball, Sasuke yelled. Sweden. Wall of water, Naruto countered. As the steam from the two attacks cleared, Naruto saw Sasuke running at him. Chidori, Sasuke yelled with his Sharingan active. Sasuke plunged his fist into Naruto's chest. Now kneel to me, he said. Naruto fell face first and the entire stadium went quiet. Then all of a sudden there was a loud coughing noise behind Sasuke. Said boy turned in confusion and looked back at the Naruto on the ground. What the hell, he said. My very first successful jutsu I created on my own. It's a blood clone, very useful for situations where I need to fake my death like now, Naruto said. Impossible, you didn't do any hand signs, Sasuke said. Who said it uses hand signs? It's more of a summon type jutsu, but I have no desire to explain it to you. Naruto then went through some hand signs. Chidori, he yelled. He ran at Sasuke at full speed. A debris from the stadium filled the air. Once it was clear Sasuke was frozen in his place with fear while Naruto had his hand planted elbow deep in the ground right under him. Unlike you, I don't attempt to kill people in a spar, he said, and forced his arm out, causing it to dislocate from his shoulder and rip the skin from his elbow down off his arm. Impressive display of skill, Naruto, the third said. You should have killed him, Konan yelled. How long until your blood clone is gone? The third asked. No clue. This is the first time I was able to create one successfully, Naruto said. Tsunade appeared next to them. Incredible, I could use one of these clones to make so many medical discoveries and possible find a way to remove that seal from Anko, she said. Itoko, are you going to heal my arm? Naruto asked. Tsunade looked at him. No, she said. What, why? Naruto whined. Because I told you next time you do something like that to show off I'm not healing you. Besides, it's already healing, Tsunade said. How did you learn my jutsu? Kakashi yelled. Funu taught me, Naruto shrugged. How did she learn it? Kakashi yelled. I'm an Uchiha, it's what we do, Funu said. Are we going to fight now? I want to kick Funu no baka, Sakura said. Funu looked at her and went through some hand signs. Reikiri, she said. I'm ready when you are flat chest, she said, holding the loud jutsu up so all could see. I think a fight between you two will be unnecessary, the third said. I'll fight her, Hinata said, appearing out of nowhere in a shunshin of water. Sweden. Chidori, she said, holding up a water Chidori and looking at Funu. Both was ready to attack each other. That won't be needed. I would like you both to survive at least long enough to take the Chunin exam, the third said. Naru-chan, is this blood clone a perfect clone of you? Tsunade asked. Yes, why? Naruto asked. Because, if it is, then you have a seal on the top of your head, Tsunade said, looking at the clone's head. A seal? Naruto asked. Yes, I'll have Jiraiya study this before he look at yours, Tsunade said, and grabbed the clone and vanished. Well, want to go out to lunch? My treat? Naruto asked Hinata and Funu. They both shrugged and finally ended their jutsu at the thought of free food. Okay, what just happened? Someone in the crowd asked. Sasuke got hishanded to him, so did Kakashi, and his only two personal jutsus are no longer known by only him, Anko said. 2 weeks later, Kakashi walked around the village and noticed his popularity with the other ninjas went down dramatically since that fateful day. As Kakashi tried to ignore everyone, a root nin came to him. Kakashi, Danzo-sama would like a meeting with you, he said. About what? I don't have time for him, Kakashi said. About your little blonde problem and his family, the nin said. Kakashi thought. 5 minutes only, he said. Yes, follow me. The nin then vanished via Anbu known invisibility jutsu. Kakashi shook his head and followed him. Being an ex-Anbu made him able to spot those using this jutsu. He followed the nin to Danzo's house. Wait here, the nin said, and entered. A few minutes later, Danzo opened the door. Please come in. Once Kakashi was seated, Danzo began. I know we don't get along with each other, he was cut off. I don't like you, so what's your reason for wanting to see me? Make it quick or I'll inform the Hokage that you still have root nins, Kakashi said. Right. Well, I have a plan to get rid of those who made our life more complicated. Do you want in on it? Danzo asked. No. I'm leaving. Kakashi stood up to leave. Hold it. You don't think I will let you out after knowing what I plan to do? Danzo asked. What you plan has no effect on me. I'm done being a shinobi, Kakashi said and left. You are already in the middle of the entire thing, Danzo yelled after him. Turning to the nin in there, bring me Agent Red, Danzo said. A few minutes later, a red-haired kunoichi was standing in front of him. Is she changed completely? He asked. Not completely, but she should be good enough for simple missions, the root medic said. Thank you. Now, Agent Red, you're going to kill a shinobi named Naruto. He is responsible for your family being dead. He is the reason you lost your memory. Eliminate him and we will be able to use his knowledge of jutsus to return your memory, Danzo said. The kunoichi just gave him a cold look before walking away. Are you sure she will do what I said? He asked. Yes, the medic said. In the village, Naruto and Hinata was flying around with Hinata leaned back on Naruto looking at the sky. I love it up here, it's so peaceful, Hinata said. That's because no one can reach us, Naruto said. Yes, but I have this weird feeling that we are being watched, Hinata said. By who? No one can see us, Naruto said. Hinata looked over the edge. Look, that nin is looking directly at us, she pointed. You're right. How did someone know we was up here? Naruto asked. I don't know, but I'm getting a bad feeling about that nin, Hinata said. Naruto landed the plane on a nearby roof and the two started to jump towards the Senju compound. They jumped across the roofs and was stopped by the nin that Hinata spotted. That's the same nin that was looking at us, Hinata said. I know. Who are you? Naruto asked the nin. The nin just looked at him, then attacked in the blink of an eye, sending Naruto across 3 roofs painfully. Hinata looked shocked at first, then ran to him. Naru-kun, are you okay? She asked. Ow, that hurts, Naruto said. Hinata stood up. Who are you and why did you attack him? She demanded. Get out the way and you won't be hurt, the kunoichi said with absolutely no emotion. Naruto stood up next to Hinata. What the hell is your problem? He yelled. The kunoichi eyed him. Prepare yourself, Naruto Namikaze Senju Uzumaki, she said. You know my full name? Naruto asked. Hinata summoned her Chinese sword from her seal and defended Naruto. This is not the time, Naru-kun, she is trying to kill you, she yelled at him. Naruto summoned his gunblade and stood next to Hinata, again. The kunoichi pulled out a pair of trench knives and attacked the two. They tried to defend, but this kunoichi was way better than and faster than Konan was. And in no time the two genin's weapons went flying off the roof and they both was close behind. They landed with a thud, surprising those around the building. The kunoichi landed shortly after. I told you not to interfere and you wouldn't be hurt, she said to Hinata. Naruto, Moegi yelled and tried to run to him but was stopped by Funu. What are you doing? We have to help him, Moegi yelled. I will be helping you. Go find Konan and anyone else who is in the family, Funu demanded. Funu jumped in front of Naruto and Hinata, blocking a strike from the kunoichi's trench knives. I don't know who you are, but you're going to have to go through me to get to them, she said. Funu, run, go find Konan, she is too skilled for us, Hinata yelled. I don't think so, Hyuga, Funu said. I'm serious, this is an order, Hinata yelled. An order? You're confusing family business with life and death. If I leave you both will die and you know it, Hyuga. And I don't care how much I don't like you, I will not allow anyone kill you or Naru-kun if I can prevent it, Funu said. Damn it, Funu, what's your problem? Hinata yelled. My problem is you two just was sent flying off a building. He is unconscious and you're trying to make me run while my friends are in danger. That's my problem, Funu yelled. It's our law, you have to do what I say, Hinata said. I know that laws also are meant to be broken, and I will die before I let my sister die in front of me, Funu whispered the last part and ran off towards the kunoichi before Hinata could say anything. The kunoichi just waited until Funu reached her. You should leave before you get hurt also. I'm only here to kill Naruto, she said. Over my dead body, Funu yelled, activating her Sharingan. The kunoichi sighed. I must applaud you two for not running and leaving him to his fate, but it hurts me to say I will have to end your lives, she said. Funu tried to hold her ground but was handled quickly and easily by the older kunoichi and was sent flying back. Damn it, Hyuga, can you move? She asked. Not much. We need to do something to stall until the others come, Hinata said. Will you two stay down now? The kunoichi asked. I will never give up, Funu said, struggling to her feet. Maybe you should leave this to us, Rin said, along with Shizune, Yugito, Kurenai, Yugo, and Anko. Shizune went to Hinata and Funu and healed them, then went to work on Naruto. Why are you all interfering with me? The kunoichi asked in her emotionless tone. Who are you and why do you want to kill Naruto? Rin asked. My name and motives don't concern you. Now get out of my way, the kunoichi said. You're going to have to go through us, Yugito said. The kunoichi sighed. Don't say you wasn't warned, she said. She then surprised everyone by completely disappearing. No afterimage like the flying thunder god, or no chakra signature. As they all looked around for her, Rin screamed out in pain as a trench knife went into her stomach. Tsunade ran up to them and immediately started to work on Rin. What the hell is going on? She asked. Some kunoichi is trying to kill Naruto, Yugito said. Why? Tsunade asked. She wouldn't tell us, Kurenai said as she looked around for the kunoichi. Tsunade looked at them then gasped. Impossible, only one person knows this jutsu, she said. What jutsu? Shizune asked. It's called Flying Wind Goddess and it's a perfect match for the Flying Thunder God jutsu. It takes a level of wind control that even Konan hasn't reached. Only one person in history has ever reached this level of wind control, Tsunade said. Who is that person? Anko asked. Konan blocked a strike from behind Anko and kicked the kunoichi. What the hell do you think you're doing? She yelled at the kunoichi. I'm getting rid of those in the way of my target, she replied. How did Konan know where she was? Yugo asked. Because she was able to create a defense for that jutsu, but even then it don't always work, Tsunade said. Okay, who is this kunoichi? Shizune asked. Your target. Who is your target? Konan asked. Naruto Namikaze Senju Uzumaki, the kunoichi said. What the hell are you talking about? Target for what? Konan yelled. He is responsible for killing my family, even my Imouto who wasn't in the village and son who was just born, the kunoichi said. Everyone looked at her in shock. What the hell, who told you that crap? Konan yelled. That don't matter. Just get out of my way. Next time I won't go easy, the kunoichi said. I'm not moving. Don't interfere, Konan said. If you insist, the kunoichi said. Then attacked Konan with her trench knives. Konan pulled out her katana and got ready. Someone gave you false information, she yelled. I'm done talking, the kunoichi said from behind Konan. Konan turned and sliced at the kunoichi who ducked under the attack and kicked Konan in the stomach. Konan went flying back. By now there was a group of ninjas watching the fight. Will you stay out of my path? I don't want to hurt you, the kunoichi asked. No, I won't let you harm my nephew even if you are his cousin and my Onezen Kushina. I will do whatever it takes to stop you, Konan said through harsh breaths. Everyone looked shocked at Konan then at the kunoichi. I don't know how you know my name, but I have no family left, she said taking off her mask and looking at Konan with cold and hurting blue eyes. Onezen, it's me Konan. Don't you remember all the fun times we had? Konan asked through her forming tears. Kushina looked at her. I have no memory of you, she said and punched Konan again sending her flying back. Naruto, who was conscious again, looked at Tsunade. Is that really my cousin? He asked. Yes, but someone did something to her brain, and she don't remember anything about her family, Tsunade said. Maybe it's a seal. Jiraiya told me about seals that shuts off people memory. That has to be what it is, Naruto said. Perhaps, but we have no way of finding out. No one here can beat her. She is the only person able to fight your father to a draw, something even Jiraiya and me had a hard time doing together, Tsunade said. The kunoichi went through some hand signs, kami origami, shuriken death, she said. Just before she launched the attack, Naruto ran in front of Konan. No, please don't, he cried out. Naruto, move. I will die to get my Onezen back if I have to, Konan demanded. No, I can't. I believe she will remember us. We just have to convince her who we are, Naruto cried. This is easier for me. Once I kill you, I will have avenged my family and finally go join my son in whatever afterlife he is in, she said. No, cousin, Naruto yelled just as the attack was released at him. Naruto screamed out as he was hit by the jutsu. Everyone watched helplessly as he fell on the ground all but lifeless. Naruto used his last bit of his strength to look up into Kushina's eyes and blood running down his face. Please, cousin, remember that I love you, he said, then his face fell to the ground. Kushina looked at him as he looked into her eyes. It was something so familiar about those eyes, but she couldn't put her finger on it. Konan looked at her nephew with tears running down her face. You killed him, she yelled and attacked Kushina. To her surprise, didn't try and defend herself. Konan continued to punch her. Defend yourself, she yelled. Kushina looked at her in the eyes with a bunch of emotions going through them, but the main one was confusion and hurt. Konan, she said. Kushina. Konan said as she stopped hitting her. Kushina looked past Konan to the blonde laying on the ground. My son, is he safe? She asked slowly. Konan looked at her. I tried, but. She stopped and looked at Naruto on the ground. Kushina looked at him. He killed my son, she asked, already starting to fear what happened. No, Kushi-chan, Konan said. Kushina looked at him, then at Konan. Why, you mean I did? She asked. I'm sorry I tried, but you was still too strong for me, Konan said. Kushina looked at him, then at everyone standing around them. What did I do? She asked. It wasn't your fault, someone was messing with your brain, Konan said. Kushina slowly approached Naruto's body and scooped it up onto her while she was on her knees. Please don't die, I need you, she whispered in his ear while rocking him. Kasen, Naruto mumbled, coughing up blood. Naruto, you're alive, how do I heal you? Kushina yelled in excitement and panic. Maybe you should let me do it, Tsunade said. Right, of course, who are you? Kushina asked. Don't worry, Kushi-chan, she is a medic, Konan said. Kushina watched closely as Tsunade healed Naruto. As she watched, she grabbed her head in pain as the seal in her head started to activate. She screamed out, surprising everyone. Konan tried to comfort her Onezen while looking around for who was causing the pain. She spotted someone concentrating on Kushina. Hey, what are you doing? She yelled out at him. He quickly stopped and vanished into the crowd. Damn it, Konan cursed. The pain in Kushina's head finally stopped and she calmed down. She forced herself to push the rest of the pain away and focus on Naruto when something caught the corner of her eye. She turned and looked right at Kakashi. As she stared at him, her eyes went wide. You, she yelled at him, jumping to her feet. Me, Kakashi stuttered out. You're the reason for this, Kushina yelled. I don't know what you're talking about, Kakashi said, backing up as she walked towards him. You're Kakashi Hatake, she yelled. Yes, he said, confused. I'll kill you, she yelled. I would really like it if you didn't do that, Kakashi said. You caused me this pain, you almost made me kill my son, it's all your fault, I'm going to kill you, Kushina yelled. I don't know what you're talking about, he said, starting to sweat. The crowd moved out the way, not wanting to get in the middle of this. You're the one Minato asked to guard me while I recovered from giving birth. You're the one who I heard talking to Danzo. You're the one he paid off to deliver me to his hideout. You're the reason I went through so much pain the last 13 years. You're the reason I missed my son growing up. You broke your promise to Minato, and you betrayed my trust, Kushina yelled. Kakashi gulped, trying to find a way to clear his name. It wasn't me, was framed, he said. Kushina pulled out her trench knives. I'm going to rip you apart piece by piece, she said, and attacked him before he could defend himself. Just as she was about to impale her trench knife into his skull, she froze. Kasen, she heard. She spent. Naruto, she said, and ran to him. Baby, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you? Wait, don't answer those questions. Do you need anything? Water? Food? What? She asked quickly. Naruto reached out and grabbed her hand. Kasen, he said, and closed his eyes. Well, he is healed, now he just needs rest, Tsunade said. Where did that one-eyed pervert go? Konan asked. I don't care, I have my son back, and if he knows what's good for him, he better stay away from me, Kushina said. Yes, now we can finally be a family, Konan said. Tell me everything I missed, Kushina said. Not today, maybe in a few days, but right now you're not learning nothing about his past, Konan said, mostly in fear of everyone's life inside the village at the moment, including her own's. Fine, Kushina said, and picked Naruto up and started to walk away. She stopped and looked at Konan. Koko, where do we live? She asked with an embarrassed look on her face. You promised not to call me that, Konan whined. Really, I don't remember that, Kushina said. I do though, Konan said. Anyway, where do we live? I have this pain in the back of my skull I need to lay down, Kushina said. Come on, let's go home, Konan said to everyone in the family clan. I never thought I would fight someone that would make me release Nibi to fight, Yugito said. Yay, she is scary when she is mad like she was, Anko said. In a town on the edge of Hai no Kuni, Kakashi stopped after he was a few hours travel away from Konoha, breathing hard. I need to lay low for a while, maybe the rest of my life, he said. He looked at the sky. Maybe I can start a family and teach my kids everything about being a ninja I know. He smiled at the thought of having kids. He started to walk again and until he came to a small town. He went in and immediately bought some new clothes and a pirate eye patch replacing his Hitai 8. He stored his shinobi gear inside a scroll and left. The town he was in was on the edge of Hai no Kuni but still under protection of Konoha, so he wouldn't have to do anything to give his location away. He was glad he kept his family inheritance in a scroll with him, so everything he owned was with him except his old family house itself. He did plan on going back to Konoha one day, when he was old and didn't have anything else to live for, but for now needs came first, like finding a nice pretty lady within 5 years of his 27-year age. He walked around the town and was able to quickly memorize where everything was. He walked into a bank. Hello, I would like to start a private account, he said. Yes, we will need your name and occupation, the bank teller said. Well, I don't have an occupation yet, I'm new here, Kakashi said. I see. Well, we don't usually do this, but as long as you have a home in town I can let you open a bank account, the teller said. Well, where do I buy a home? He asked. Go next door and ask for the housing department, they will be able to help you. Once you leave there, come back here with your realtor and we can set up a bank account, the teller said. Thank you. Kakashi then left. Kakashi walked out the bank and was ran into by a lady. Sorry, I'm new in town, it's hard to walk and look at this map, she said. Don't worry, I'm new here too, Kakashi said. Oh, what brings you here on vacation? The lady asked. Nah, looking for a change of lifestyle. I'm ready to settle down and I came across this town. It seemed nice and quiet so I settled here, Kakashi said. Oh, it just so happens I'm looking for a new place to live. Maybe we can meet each other later and do dinner, she asked. Sounds great. I'm Kakashi by the way, he said. Kakashi? You mean the famous shinobi? She asked. Yes, I retired from shinobi work though. What's your name? He asked. I'm Katie. I'm a trained doctor, but not one of those ninja doctors, just a regular doctor. Finding work is hard now that most villages are starting to hire ninja-trained doctors, she said. Kakashi nodded. I would assume it is. Maybe one day I can teach you to use chakra and you can mix it in with your work so you won't get fired by a medic with ninja training, he suggested. I would like that. Well, see you, Kakashi, Katie said. At the hospital, Kushina laid on the medic bed while Jiraiya and Tsunade looked at her. Did you find anything yet? Tsunade asked. Yes, she has a seal on her. I can remove it but it will take some research. As long as it don't get activated she will be fine, Jiraiya said. Okay, she will have to stay at the compound until you are able to remove it, Tsunade said. Out in the village, Naruto recovered and was walking around the village by himself when he passed a jewelry store and walked in. Excuse me, I want to buy something, he said. Great, any idea what you want? The lady asked. Well, some jewelry, Naruto answered. No shit, I meant what kind. Is this for a girlfriend, cousin, sister, best friend, birthday present? We have different jewelry for different occasions, the lady said. Oh right, sorry. Well, it's my friend Ayame's birthday and I want to get her something nice, Naruto said. I see. The lady looked around. Here, this set will be perfect. It will match her eyes, she said, showing him a black diamond necklace and bracelet. It's perfect, I'll take it, he said. Good. Now this cost 3 million, she said. Whoa, that's a shitload of money, Naruto said. What did you expect? It's diamonds, she said. Well, I guess you can charge it to my Itoko account. Her name is Tsunade, Naruto said. Okay, here is your receipt. The charge will be put through in the next 3 hours, she said. Thank you, Naruto said, grabbing his receipt and bag. At ramen stand. Naruto walked into the ramen stand and saw Ayame sitting behind the counter board. The restaurant was empty, so he walked up. Hey Ayame, how are you? He asked. Hi Naruto, I'm bored, not much business yet, she answered. I see, have you started to make those recipes in the book I gave you? Naruto asked. Yay. Otusan already added a few of them to the menu, and some guy from Kumo came to visit us to try them out. He even asked Otusan for a ramen recipe to add to his restaurant, Ayame said. That's good. Well, here you go, happy birthday, he said, handing her the bag. You didn't have to get me anything, and my birthday was yesterday, Ayame said. Oh, sorry, I missed it, Naruto said. Don't be, you was in the hospital, Ayame said. Well, I hope you like your gift. You really deserve it, Naruto said. Ayame took the gift out and lost her breath. Nah, Naruto, what is this? She asked. Your gift. It cost 3 million. It was charged to Itoko account since I'm too young to have something that expensive on mine, Naruto said. Naruto, you shouldn't have, Ayame said. You deserve it, Naruto said. Ayame jumped over the counter with surprising agility and wrapped her arms around Naruto and started to make out with him. Tsunade walked in. Did I hear someone? She cut herself off as she saw Naruto and Ayame. I wasn't aware that my son and Ayame was knocking kunais, Kushina said. I wasn't either, Tsunade said. The two just continued to kiss until Kushina cleared her throat. This is a place of eating, not making me grandchildren. You two can do that later tonight, she said. The two jumped apart. Kasen, Naruto said in surprise. Making you grandchildren? Ayame said, then looked at Naruto's pants and noticed they was bulging out. Maybe we will make you one later, Ayame said, blushing. Kushina laughed. I would like to have one. I missed out on a lot with my own son. If you can make twins so I can have double the fun of having a kid, she asked. They don't get to choose if they have twins or not, and stop encouraging them, Tsunade said. I want grandchildren and I want them now, Kushina whined. You just got your first one, Tsunade said. I know, but I didn't get to raise him, Kushina pointed out. I know that, but you won't get to raise their child either, Tsunade said. Who is going to stop me? I want to raise my son's first child. It's my right as the grandmother, Kushina said. Tsunade sighed. Arguing with you is impossible. You never make sense, she said. Kushina smiled. I win again. So when are you going to give me grandchildren, my little dragon sage? She asked. Well, Kasen, was all Naruto could say. We will give you one in 9 months. I always dreamed of having kids with him, Ayame said happily while hugging Naruto. Good thing you was already accepted into our family, Tsunade said. I was how? Ayame asked, surprised. Everyone likes you. It was Konan's idea, Tsunade said. About that, where do I fit in? I know I have to have more of an input than everyone else, right? Kushina asked. Well, everyone agreed that if we ever found out what happened to you, then you will immediately be put in as one of the 3 elders of the family, and you have input on the same level as me and Konan, Tsunade said. But I should have more. He is my son, Kushina whined. On certain things, mainly things directly involving Naruto, you have more input than me and Konan, but on things as a whole as 3 are equally, and me and Konan can vote to balance out something you voted for, Tsunade said. I guess that's fair. You two did raise him, Kushina said. Don't worry, Kasen. You will always be first to me, Naruto said. Kushina smiled. I'm so happy I found you, although I wish it wasn't with me almost killing you, she said. Ayame held up her gift. Look what he bought me, ain't it perfect, she said. Wow, that's pretty, Kushina said. You put this on my account. How much did it cost? Tsunade asked. 3 million, Ayame said. 3 million, you're so paying that money back, Tsunade said. Take it out of my account, Kushina told Tsunade said. Come on Naruto, we have to make babies, Ayame said, pulling Naruto's arms and walking out the restaurant. Make babies? Naruto asked. Yes, I want a baby in exactly 9 months, that would put if exactly 3 months and a day after your birthday and before my birthday, she said. But we are too young, Naruto said. Old enough to kill, old enough to give me a daughter, Ayame said. Twin daughters, Kushina added. Kasen, you're not helping, Naruto whined. Hey, in 9 months it will be my birthday, Kushina said. I get a granddaughter on my birthday, she cheered. You and babies, you was just as excited about having a baby, Tsunade said, shaking her head. I'm going to raise my granddaughter to be the best, Kushina said without listening to Tsunade. Hey wait Ayame, I'm hungry, who's going to take our order, she yelled after the teen. Kushina, you don't think he is too young for kids, Tsunade asked. Well, he is 13 now. When the kid is born he will be 14 and Ayame will be going on 17. I think they are old enough. Remember I was 16 when I had Naruto, Kushina said. Yes, but Minato was older than you, Tsunade pointed out. They will be fine. Besides, I'm the main one who will be looking after her when she is born, so it will be fine, Kushina said. I just don't want them rushing into things. Next Hinata or Funu or Haku or Kirei might be asking to have a kid, Tsunade said. That's where we come in. Ayame isn't a kunoichi and she is of age, so she don't run the risk of having problems with her body not working properly after birth like kunoichis who have babies before their body can handle it. Anyone under Riri can't have kids until they are 16, the age that you told me was safe for a kunoichi to have a child, Kushina said. You really thought this through, didn't you? Tsunade asked. There was a reason I waited until I saw him with someone older and not Hinata. Although I think Hinata will produce the cutest Hyuga babies ever, she is too young and I'm not going to risk her life because I want a grandchild. Even Riri is pushing it at barely 16, and personally I would feel better if we limit having babies until they are 17 just to be safe, Kushina said. You know I missed how good you are at getting your point across, Tsunade said. I learned from the best, and if talking don't work, a well-placed fist or kunai will, Kushina said. They always get things to go my way, Tsunade said. Exactly, worked well with Minato and will work well with anyone else, Kushina said. Yay, let's go home, we have some new rules to pass, Tsunade said. Yup. Also, since Naruto is a natural wind element, I promised I will teach him my flying wind goddess technique, Kushina said. I always figured he would learn the flying thunder god technique, Tsunade said. He can't unless he is a natural lighting element also, Kushina said. Hinata is, Tsunade said. Then she can learn it. I think the entire family deserve a shot at learning one of them, plus how to defend against them. I started to teach Konan but never was able to finish teaching her to defend against the technique, Kushina said. Great, Tsunade said. An Anbu appeared. Tsunade-sama, you're needed in the Hokage's office, it involves Team 7 and the Chunin exams, he said, then disappeared. I'm coming. It involves Naruto directly like you said, Kushina said. You're right, that was part of the responsibility you have now, Tsunade said. They both walked into the Hokage's office. Kushina, why are you here? The third asked. This involves my son directly, and by clan laws I get to make any decisions involving him as long as it don't involve the entire clan, Kushina said. Very well. We received letter from Kakashi explaining his disappearance and retirement, the third said. Better that than dead, Kushina said. Yes. He said he didn't leave Hai no Kuni and is still available if we go to war, but other than that he expressed that he would like to be left alone to live his days knowing he let everyone here down, the third said. So that was his halfway of saying he was sorry, Kushina asked. Well, considering that he was one word from being impaled by your trench knife, I'm not surprised he left and rode back so he wouldn't be listed as a missing nin, it reduces the chances of running into you greatly, Tsunade said. Anyway, since he is gone, Team 7 is without a sensei, the third said. I suggest someone who can train Sakura and maybe knock that fangirl out of her, Kushina said. How about you? The third asked. Kushina looked at him like he had a lizard growing out of his head. You want them to survive long enough to take the Chunin exams and hopefully become Chunins, right? The third nodded, and I almost killed my own Imouto and son because someone messed with my brain. What in all the hell Kyuubi caused my son makes you think I would be a good sensei for a fangirl and that Uchiha stick flipper Tem two of the people who gives my son the most problems in this village, she asked. You're right, bad idea, any suggestions? The third asked. We need someone who is fair and won't let their personal feelings get in the way of their judgment, Kushina said. That knocks out everyone in this village, Tsunade said. Not everyone, there are two people. Anko was raised not being treated fairly and hates fangirls, but hates weakness more. She could easily knock the fangirl out of her, Kushina said. But Anko also has low patience and will snap the first time Sakura comments about how gross snakes are or how she is slowing down Sasuke, Tsunade said. Exactly, so who is the second person? The third asked. The only other person I can think of that will get Sakura up to par with her peers and still knock the fangirl out of her is Kurenai. She is probably the fairest person ever, never letting personal feelings get in the way of her job, and with her genjutsu skills can teach Sakura some things that will make her low chakra but high control useful, at least until she increases her chakra to learn some ninjutsu, and she is a pretty good medic, so she can teach Sakura that since she is probably the only person who will train her without being unfair, Kushina said. I agree, she can teach her a lot, and if Sakura put a little effort she might survive these exams, Tsunade said. So you both think Kurenai is the best person for the job? The third asked. Yes, no one better except probably Anko at knocking fangirls out of people, and no one in the world fairer, Kushina said. Well, I'll let Kurenai know she is their new sensei, and has 3 months to get them ready for the Chunin exams, the third said. Okay, later, Kushina said, and her and Tsunade walked out. The next day at Team 7 meeting. Funu and Naruto was sitting on the bench like usual with Funu resting her head on Naruto. Sasuke was brooding near a tree like always and Sakura was watching like always. Kurenai appeared via Shunshin. Okay everyone, I'm your new sensei, I already know each of you, so I'm Kurenai Uehi, I like genjutsus and my family, I don't hate much so it's not important, and my goal is to become a genjutsu mistress and get you all to Chunins as soon as possible. Now get over here so I can judge your skills, she said. Hey Kurenai, Naruto said walking up to her. That's Kurenai sensei Naruto, and don't speak out unless I give you permission, we have a lot to cover and little time to do it, now Sasuke get over here now, Kurenai demanded. Naruto gulped. I don't like this Kurenai, she is scary, he whispered to Funu. Why should I listen to you? Sasuke said. Secret art. Unwanted fate, she said. The genjutsu went over Sasuke and showed him being eaten slowly by Kyuubi. The genjutsu ended. Now get over here or I will make something more terrible than being eaten by Kyuubi, she demanded. Sasuke mumbled and walked over to her. Yes, he didn't want to be here, but he wasn't that stupid. If that low-level genjutsu felt so real, he didn't know what it felt like if she got serious. Kurenai smiled. Good, now first Sasuke, Naruto, and Funu, I already have a pretty good idea of where you are, so for now you to run around this training field until I tell you to stop, she said. The three started to run. Now Sakura, you're pathetic and that's putting it nicely, so I'll ask you this once and I want an honest answer, she said. Yes Kurenai sensei, Sakura said. Do you want to be a kunoichi? If you don't, then tell me now and no one will hold it against you because you never had a fair chance to begin with having Kakashi as a sensei. If you don't want to be a kunoichi, I can get you a job at the library, working with Tsuki at his restaurant since he needs more help. in one of the many clothing stores, or as a receptionist in the hospital, so think about this for a few minutes then tell me your answer, Kurenai said. Sakura stood there and looked at her feet thinking over what Kurenai said. She bit her lower lip as she thought of all the possibilities. Kurenai-sensei, she said after a few minutes. Yes, Sakura, did you think what I asked over? She asked. I'm not sure right now. Can I take a few days to think this over, then when I find the answer come to you? She asked. Of course, you can find my Atsuki ramen every Monday and Friday at noon, Kurenai said. Thank you, sensei. I'll think this over hard, because now I'm not sure what I want anymore, Sakura said. Don't worry, bad senseis have ended more than a few young ninjas' careers before their time. Just be lucky you have this choice from me and not faced with death on a battlefield and not knowing anything besides the basics, Kurenai said. Okay, I'll see you, Kurenai-sensei, Sakura said and walked off the training field deep in thought. Naruto, Sasuke, and Funu watched her leave in confusion as they ran. You three are free for the rest of the week. Meet back here on Monday, Kurenai said, then vanished. Naruto and Funu walked off together. I wonder what that was about, Naruto said. Don't know, must be the pervert not training her properly, Funu said as if she didn't really care. I guess. Well, anyway, Konan got me these cool new trench knives and a scroll on how to use them, since she can't teach me with that seal and all, but she did say she will give me pointers. I've been practicing every day since I got them with Hina, Naruto said. Cool, so you finally going to stop using that funny looking weapon? Funu asked. My gunblade is awesome, Naruto said. Maybe, but it's still funny looking. Hey, I'll see you later, I have to go to the Uchiha compound for something, Funu said. Okay, be careful, Naruto said. You're the one always ended up hurt when you're by yourself, Funu said, then ran off.